Good morning. Hi, guys. It's Vortex here. Welcome back to the channel. I was theory crafting and I thought of another bleed build. I'll just run quickly through it. You can copy it if you like. It doesn't include items, however. Obviously, if you use aspects on your items, anything that relates to bleed, like bleed damage, stunning the image while they bleed, getting damage reduction while they bleed, anything like that could work with your build, as well as some amazing legendary items that specifically do more damage over time and stuff like that. But this is just a theory crafting on the skills. Initially, I would go with Flay, but I thought let's go more meta, right? So basically, this build is trying to do as much damage as possible and staying as berserked as possible and keeping the enemies as vulnerable as possible. So this is a great leveling build. It's not a pure meta build because it doesn't include the 3 war cries, which is unfortunately sort of standard for the barb. So I'm going here with lunging strike, enhanced lunging strike, and combating lunging strike. So you get berserking every time you lunge and you generate some fury. So I took pressure points. So every time you rend, you have a 30% chance to cause the mob in front of you to be vulnerable. If you max it out for damage, you get enhanced rend and you get violent rend for the extra damage on vulnerable enemies. Going down here, rallying cry, I left it at level 1 because my thinking is we want max damage, right? So we use those points somewhere else. You still get 40% fury generation for 6 seconds. Enhanced rallying cry to become unstoppable, which is like a must. And then extra fury generation when you cast the ability. We took outburst and tough as nails. The idea for this thorns damage is just to ensure that enemies are bleeding. So if they attack you, they get some damage. It's not necessarily a tanky thorns barb build, right? Going down here, we maxed out Warcry to ensure we get maximum DPS. We get berserking for 4 seconds. So here's another way you generate berserking, right? And then we took power cry. So if there's a big mob, you get another 10% on top. So your damage is going crazy. We take booming voice, so your war cries last as long as possible. And we take raid leader, and I took 2 points. I don't think more than that is needed. I'll show you later in the skill tree where I put that point. Alternatively, you can take it out and put it here. But I think the healing would be more than enough, right? Like I said, it's a living build. It's not necessarily like meta or deep, far late game, and it's trying to be a more balanced build. So we take aggressive resistance because we're berserking all the time, and then we take extra fury generation to ensure we always have enough fury to keep rending our enemies. So coming down, we take Pit Fighter for the excellent close damage enhancement and the reduction to distant enemies, and then we take No Mercy because constantly enemies will be slowed because of this node hamstring, because they are bleeding if they're attacking you or when you're rending them. And then on top of that, you get additional vulnerable damage on your bleeding, right? And on top of that, you have a very high increased crit chance, which is perfect. We want that. So Steel Grasp, it's only 1/1/1, and the purpose for this is because Steel Grasp causes your enemy to be vulnerable for 2.5 and pull them towards you. As you can see, we don't have any fun mobility skills, because you unfortunately can only have 6 skills, right? So this pulls your enemy towards you, so be careful how you use it, but it will make them vulnerable. And then they're in a nice small group where you can rend them all. And then on top of it, you're berserking again, so you're constantly having the berserk damage bonus and the extra fury generation. If you come down here you can actually choose what you want. All of the ancients is excellent because low cooldown reduction for clearing mobs and leveling. These guys help you out a lot, the bros. What do you call this? The Maelstrom, Iron Maelstrom got upgraded, so it does a lot more crit damage. So I just put it here. I think it's a fun thing to use when you level up. However, if you want, you can go berserking because the damage goes even way up. And you also get movement speed and fury generation, so it's totally possible. You could totally go that as well. And then we take heavy-handed. This is to ensure your 200 weapons crit damage is even more, right? Passively 15%. Alternatively, you could do this because Overpower will give you 15% damage. However, you will have, because how Overpower works and you don't have Fortify in your build, you will have less chances to overpower, right? So that's why I maxed out crit chance, because you will have a higher crit chance, and because Rend uses a 200 weapon, possibly 200 sword or 200 axe. So this just ups the damage passively. Then we take 1 point in Tempered Fury. We don't care about the extra Fury generation. Max Fury is nice though, but we want this node, Invigorating Fury. Get 9% of your max life back for each 100 Fury spent. So this is another node you're healing with, synergizing with this, right? I just think this is better, right? Because of the amount of damage you're going to put out. Also, I don't pick Berserker, but you can. It really doesn't matter which ultimate you want. It's because I don't take Unconstrained, which is in most cases meta, right? You would take these and that. But because it's a bleed build, most bleed builds will always go Gushing Wound because it just does crazy amount of bonus damage. And it can even do AoE damage. This is my max DPS fun leveling build, bleed build for the Barb. I'm going to respec one of my classes and use it. Normally when I play the game, especially from level 0 to 50, I found just play what you like, right? But this is more or less how it should look like. I think with my bleed build currently, because I made extra Barb just to play it, I used Flail, and then I went into Combat Fury to get extra Thorns, and then I maxed out Thorns, and then I used Challenging Shout, and then you also get more life, and then you also get more Thorns damage on because of that shout, and it pulls the enemy towards you. And then I think I used Leap. I used Challenging a Charge because it gives Vulnerable, or Leap, one or the other for the mobility. And then I used Steel Grasp for these same reasons. And then I used Death Blow. I just find it a very fun way to play. So I would have Leap, I would have this, I would have Flay, I would have Rend, I would have the Steel Grasp, and I have Death Blow. And then I probably had Call of the Ancients most of the time. However, Maelstrom is a very fun skill to have, especially when you get a big mob. You can wipe them out and save your life, but the game's not that difficult regardless. So that is one other way you could play the bleed build. Sorry, the bleed build. However, this is the, in my theory crafting, max DPS bleed build. That's also why I took the Maelstrom. However, the Berserking would be just as great. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this small theory crafting build on skills and try it out. Tell me how you like it, if we can change anything. I think in total, if you unlock all your extra skill points through Renown and stuff like that, in total you have like 58 skill points. But I think this skill calculator limits it a bit. So you have a few more skills, but you would max out normally at level 50 and you would have about 53 skill points. But then the other, I think the other 5 you can unlock with Renown. However, that takes a lot longer. But yeah, so this is cool build, guys. I'm going to use it soon, and I hope you like it and try it out and let me know how it worked. Thank you. Jurek out, and have a nice day.
Your field stabilized.